Welcome to Yildiz Readings 5D. Okay, we are here to dive deep into the weekly astrology. We cover it week by week for each zodiac sign. Please join us and subscribe. We also have an additional section now, which is the members zone for twin flames, pre-release video content, and more. Also, have a look at the merch. Let's get into the astrology for the week and see what comes up for your zodiac sign. Now, January is full of twists and turns. If you do need a booking, the link is below. I also put specials up. And before I forget, as above, we do have the 2021 forecast for all your zodiac signs. That is a detailed report as to how the transits will affect you, what dates they're occurring, and what houses they will occur in. So keep those for reference. I'll try and pin them in the videos so that when you need them, they are easily accessible. Now, moving into the month, we do have the new moon occurring on the 13th in Capricorn by the 23rd, and we do have quite heavy placements this week relating to that Capricorn placement. Now, moving into this month, we do have on the 13th the new moon in Capricorn, and it will be at the critical degree point. So any aspects linking to Capricorn are deeply important that you really focus on to get the best out of this week so that you can have that brand new beginning by the end of it. We also have Mercury in Aquarius, and that occurred on the 8th, and it will continue. So our thoughts, our connections, our speech, our movement will be in the bigger picture of things. We have also Venus in Capricorn, very similar to the moon energy, taking that direct responsibility and accountability with our marriages, contracts, partnerships. Now, Mars also had moved last week out of Aries, so we do have some reprieve, and it is in the house of Taurus, and it will be till March the 3rd. We do have quite heavy hitting energies linking to Taurus at the moment. Uranus and Taurus will go direct by the 14th. We also have Lilith and Taurus facing our shadow, deeply important, and Mars and Taurus. Hard to think then. Okay, so the squaring aspects that will be occurring this week is between Mercury squaring Uranus on the 12th and Mercury squaring Black Moon Lilith on the 14th, the day of Uranus and Taurus going direct. Mercury also goes into shadow by the 14th, so get that paperwork in order to be prepared. Hi Virgo, welcome back for your reading and astrology from the 9th through to the 15th. Now this week we do have Uranus and Taurus going direct, so it can be quite a full-on week moving forward. Now we do have on the 9th the moon transiting Sagittarius, and it is the south node. So at a karmic level, we can be looking at the circumstances surrounding the south node as well as having emotions relating to it. Now, Sagittarius can link to education, it can link to foreign countries. It also can be, because it is in your 4th house, subjects relating to home. Education, upskilling, children, things to that degree. Also, with the 4th house, it is your daily routine, and if you feel that you need to get your daily routine in order, this can alleviate some of that stress and emotion. Some of you may just wish to stay at home. Very separately, there can be subjects to do with major transformations that you're wanting to change within the home domain. Now, the moon in Sagittarius is making a quincunx to Uranus and Taurus. Your value systems at this time can feel as though they're changing, and there can be the need for sudden movement. Now, this can be news or information coming from afar. It can be value systems coming up inside of connections and home-related environments. And it can also be expansion and transformation that you're needing, and subjects relating to it, but the changes needing to occur due to that factor. Venus is making a trine to both Mars and Uranus and Taurus, so these aspects can flow beautifully during this week. Now, overall with Venus, it does connect in at the moment with your 5th house placement, so this can be linking to your creative projects, children, romance, anything you're wanting to do in a sense of pastimes. You may be looking at having a holiday with your loved ones, or yet again, changing things in a very creative fashion. With your connections and children, things can flow beautifully during this time. It's a great time also with the trines, if you're unemployed and you're seeking employment, to send those resumes out. And this is a really good week to do such, because by the end of the week we will have the shadow phase of Mercury going into retrograde. We'll start feeling those energies and some complications can arise. Now on the 10th, we're having the moon yet again transit Sagittarius, and there can be themes relating to home, changing things around, emotions relating to your domestic life, and taking the accountability, and this could be potentially relating to creative pursuits. It also can be situations relating to both romance and children. There could also be themes relating to overload of responsibilities. Now this can be due to that 6th house placement. Now we do have Mercury in Aquarius making a conjunction to Saturn in Aquarius. This can be very positive in some ways, that if you have been working very hard to level up and change things around relating to your career, relating to your routine and your health, you can see some transformation. Very separately, if you do feel you're struggling at an emotional level with Mercury in Aquarius in your 6th house placement, Mercury is your thoughts, your feelings, your daily routine, how it directly can be impacting these domains when it does come to your social responsibilities, Saturn. As to creative pursuits and your marriages, contracts, partnerships, any interconnection you can find at this point, that it's flowing freely. Now it also can be looking at the bigger picture and where you want to be moving through 2021 and well beyond. For those of you that are potentially in relationships, or those of you that are relating to a workplace agreement and you're employed, you can be looking at the bigger picture of your career sector and your relationship sector and where you want to go with those energies. Very separately, now the nodes are making a quincunx to the Sun in Capricorn. So for you, the way you're showing up, the responsibilities inside of those energies, with any creative projects, you can find that transformation can come. Now that transformation can directly come through from that Gemini placement also, and this can relate to your career sector and things you're working on. You can see that physical change coming through, and it can come through very quickly. This can also be information coming towards you. Now key themes this week will relate to that 5th house placement. We are having a new moon this week, and it will relate both to the Sun and Venus in Capricorn. These heavy themes are relating to your marriages, contracts, partnerships, and inside of your connections, relating to your creative pursuits and relating to children and birthing of new ideas, are going to take a turn for the better, providing we're putting our best foot forward. Yes, with the squaring aspects, we can find difficulties and frustrations. We also can feel as though the doors are closing and it's saying no. But like I've mentioned in the previous videos, it's very similar to having this major goal and looking at the circumstances and feeling you need to build the Great Wall of China in 24 hours. It's a process and it's the bigger picture. With Pluto making aspects this week, what you can find is those circumstances that we're needing to chop and change and move out of situations. It's going to give us the opportunity to look at those things and let them go. And with Aries and Chiron direct and the shadow energy of Black Moon, Lilith and Taurus, it can help us purge those belief systems. So on the 11th, we will have the moon transit in Capricorn, and also on the 12th. So yes, emotions relating to that 5th house placement, hunches, potentially at times frustration as you're pushing that ship forward, but you will get benefits through it. Now, we'll be testing with both the Sun and the Moon in that area, or it could be super positive to a point where both your emotions, your actions are in complete alignment with your feelings. So actions and feelings being in alignment, wouldn't that be beautiful? So hopefully that's true for you. And if that's so, you're really prepared for that brand new beginning with the new moon in Capricorn. On the 13th, as I mentioned, we shall have the new moon in Capricorn at the critical degree. It's 23 degrees. This is a brand new beginning. We do, however, have Venus in Capricorn, trining Black Moon, Lilith and Taurus. And by the 14th, which is the next day, we shall have Uranus and Taurus direct. So we're facing our shadow, able to move forward, and the energy will flow freely within those elements. Now we do have the nodes squaring Neptune in Pisces, and for you this is the axis of your career sector, the things you're working on, and your marriages, contracts, partnerships inside of those connections. It doesn't mean to say these things won't work. It can be the work that we're putting in and the need for balance and integration. So there can be frustration at times where we feel we can't be everything to everyone. It can ease up as the weeks progress. It is merely the beginning of the year. It can feel very karmic in a sense, like 2020, prior to the node shifting into Gemini and Sagittarius, but it is a temporary phase. It is that building phase we're moving into. And I did say last year that this energy could be super busy, but things coming at us. And as we move towards the 15th, we can start feeling that shadow energy of Mercury gearing up, ready to go retrograde. So getting your routine in order with that 6th house placement, making sure you're grounded, making sure your health's in order, having that routine down packed to a point you can manage those energies. Relating to other circumstances in your life very separately to you in the mix. And the 6th house I'm really seeing is going to give you an opportunity to, really turn over that new leaf and have different ways of looking after thyself and others, as well as achieving the best in any domain you wish to put your energy into. Now on the 14th, we have the moon transiting Aquarius, and this is that 6th house. And we also have Uranus and Taurus going direct. Venus in Capricorn is making a trine to Uranus and Taurus, so your creative projects, your romance, birthing of new ideas, birthing of children, linking to Taurus in the 9th house. There can be movement and changes and things can flow freely. You may also feel that a lot is coming at you. Now, having the sun in Capricorn and the moon in Aquarius, this push-pull energy between your creative pursuits and the energy of responsibility of your health and transforming things and what the routine goes into it. So, i.e. starting a business, the regimented routine of clocking on in a home-related environment, and really trying to find that structure so you can achieve those situations. So whatever it is you're directly working on, at times the axis between the 5th and the 6th house can be diet-related, due to the fact that sometimes when we have the 5th house, we're in our co-creative energy, a little bit like birthing an idea, and then after that fact we're moving towards that balance in the 6th house of getting everything in order, maybe overcompensating during those creative endeavors and dealing with children and romance and trying to have luxuries. But at the same time, you can find with the 6th house, it's getting health in order, it's getting life in order, creating that structure. So I do feel this week that's a huge subject for you. Changes relating to home, emotions relating to children, co-creative endeavors, your health, and we will check in next week to see how that's transforming for you guys. As Uranus and Taurus does go direct, you can see major changes linking to that 9th house placement. Now that can be your value systems, it can be your education, it also can be if you're networking, situations relating to a foreign country. This can also be information. So look back to when Uranus went retrograde and see some of those themes around that time, and potentially it can give you some clue as to that 9th house placement. It also can be taking a connection to that next level. Very separately, it can be upskilling, studying, If you do want coaching related to this, or you want a private reading, or you have a question, feel free to drop it in the box below and I can give you a response to your question. Now separately, yes, we do have this forecast again next week and I will give you the up-to-date information. When it does come to your romances this week, bear in mind, yes, we just have had Mars move the prior week into Taurus. So yes, this month there can be heavy hitting energies relating to Taurus, and initially moving to that new moon in Capricorn can feel a little bit testing. Now, if you're trying to get your life, your routine and things in order, you'll find that those things can start giving you benefits as Uranus and Taurus goes direct. Now, it can directly impact us with those sudden changes, and Uranus and Taurus is very similar to that box of chocolates. We just don't know what we're going to get. Now, as I mentioned, there may be physical movement you wish to have. This can be any subject relating to that ninth house, of information coming towards you, movement relating to situations, having that deeper spiritual understanding, looking at value systems inside of connections, and even finding your purpose of what you want to do next in life. So these themes can be coming up. I do feel it's a very personal transit for you, but as it proceeds forward, I do feel you'll have a lot more clarity to be able to make those conscious decisions for yourself. Now, Mars will be in Taurus until March the 3rd. After that, it will move into the house of Gemini, and it will be there till April the 23rd. So for you, as I mentioned, the subjects that can come up are career-related dynamics, but at the moment, where it stands, there can be heavy development, maybe upskilling, education, networking, marketing. This can be dealing with your schooling, but it's also looking at something very differently. Networking and understanding how that process and how you can actually work with different individuals and it can still flow freely. But there can be, again, a lot of subjects relating to spirituality and psychology. But as this moves direct, you can see flowing energies, and there will be a lot of emphasis placed in this Taurus placement. Now, it will be squaring 3 times this year. Very separately, if you did want to move abroad, that can be coming up where you're taking those steps to be able to launch something with the 5th house, or that you're looking to move abroad and waiting for that divine timing. But there can be savings relating to this and transformations needed for integration to make that decision. Now, we also have with the 5th house, yes, potentiality of birthing of things, and this can also be children. So food for thought. I will see you next week for your weekly update. If you do want this content earlier than it's released on the YouTube page, I do have the members zone. Separately, we do twin flame channelings in there, as well as coaching in a live session in the safety and security of a private room. All the twin flame videos I still continue to do on here. Moon energy updates, any ascension updates, chakra reports, and more. So the booking link is below. Please sub if you feel this content resonates with you. And I also have merch that can be tailored to your needs, and that's where you can actually edit and change it prior to purchasing. Love and light, guys. I'll see you next week.